Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Marky Picks. And today I got another free 6-pick PrizePicks slip for you, covering a couple MLB plays and some Monday Night Football NFL action. Quick recap on yesterday's slip. Another, 50-50 kind of day for me. 3 out of 6 on the main slip. Again, just a rough weekend for us here on the channel. If you guys have been telling these slips, I'm right there with you. I'm very disappointed. I don't have any words to describe this weekend. Usually, I don't have a streak that goes on like this, but that's the part of sports betting. You're going to go on some slumps, you're going to go on some hot streaks, and there's no better time to start off a hot streak than Monday Night Football. So, before I jump into the slip, just a quick recap on yesterday's slip. Starting Matthew Stafford real quick. We'll go through these. Not going to take too long. But Stafford, over 37.5 longest completion. Got the 30. And another one, this had injury involved in this. Puka Nacua got injured in that early second quarter, I believe. So that took out one of his big deep ball targets, Tony Pollard. I really thought he was going to have a better day than he did. That was just a bad pick by me. Didn't like that one at all. Just they got behind by a big lead and didn't really get many opportunities. Michael Carter, this one I actually got this line at a pretty good spot because I checked it before lock, and all of his props were jumping way down. So I don't know what the situation was with that, but his longest rush dropped down all the way down 6.5, and his regular rushing yard line went from 48.5 to 27.5. So I don't know what happened there. We got the right spot there for the under. So that Kit and Smith and Jigba again. I love the matchup here. That one did not disappoint at all. And Tua, he was looking really good here throughout 3 quarters of this game, but he started really picking up some passing volume later in that game. But we were able to stay under the under, even though it was a little close. But Aaron Rodgers, he's been burning us every single time so far over the last few weeks. We take him under, we take him over, he goes under. We take him under, he goes over. So he's probably the guy I won't be targeting the rest of the season just because I cannot project what he's doing. But just the overall 50-50 slip. So I'm ready to get back on the hot streak here this week. So let's go ahead and jump into the first pick for Monday. We're going to start with some MLB action here. We're going to take the first game here. Blake Snell under 37.5 fantasy score. My projection is at 32.10. Got the Dodgers and the Brewers game 1. Should be a really great game here. Blake Snell coming off his last outing against the Phillies, my Phillies team. He really dominated. He looked really strong. And over his last back half of the season, over the last month of the season, he's really been dominating everybody's played. He's smashed this number except for one game over his last 5 games. But this is on the road in Milwaukee. I don't think the environment's going to phase him at all. But the Brewers' offense and the way they can, work counts and, get runners on base, they're going to present a better challenge to Snell than the Phillies did. So I think the Brewers can. This line's the exact same as the one against the Phillies, 37.5. We took the under against the Phillies. He smashed it. Today, I'm calling right back to the under here and see if we can be on the right side of it today. I think the Brewers just make Snell work. I'm hoping they can. I know Snell can be nasty, so this one does carry some risk. But I'm hoping the Brewers can continue to work their plate discipline like they've been doing. They don't strike out as much as the Phillies do, so hoping they can limit the strikeouts as well in this one. So pick number 2, we're going Trey Yesavage over 26.5 fantasy score. I got him at 29.84. If you watched his last outing against the Yankees, this is a young star in the making here in the pitching department. He's got one of the nastiest splitters I've ever seen. And he's going against this Mariners team that just faced Skubal, and Skubal cooked them both times, really, in the strikeout department with that changeup. So changeups and splitters are both pretty similar pitches. They both just, splitter just dives down more than what changeup just kind of slides down and away more. So I think this is another spot where Savage is going to rack up a lot of strikeouts. Although I don't know how long they're going to push him because they did lose game 1. So I don't know how deep he can go, but I do expect him to go at least 5 innings, at least 4 innings. But I'm expecting him to get around six strikeouts. I was looking at his strikeout line of 5.5. I was going to take that, but yet again, that's pretty tight because of the .5. I feel like he can easily land on 5 in this. I think he easily gets the 5 strikeouts. I just don't know if he can get the 6 because maybe the Mariners scrap together here at the end of his outing. So I'm taking the fantasy score because I think he can get over that easier because I don't think that the Mariners are going to be able to score runs off Yesavage unless he hangs some of those splitters he's been throwing. But if he has that same stuff he had against the Yankees, he's going to go right back and just dominate the Mariners. So give me that over there. Jumping into Monday Night Football now, we're going Josh Allen, under 30 pass attempts. I got him at 28.2. Got the Bills taking on the Falcons in this one. I believe Buffalo's like a 4.5 point favorite, or like they moved down to 3.5. So they're on the road here in this spot. I think this game's going to play a little bit slower than what people are expecting it to. But with that being said, Josh Allen, he's not really a guy that's going to rack up a ton of pass attempts. So far this season, he's been right around this number. I think he's been under this in like 4 out of his 5 games, or 3 out of the 5 games. He had one game early in the season when it was really competitive. It was like 40 points for both teams, or the Ravens. I think it was 41-40 was the score. He had like 46 pass attempts in that game. I'm not expecting that kind of score in this game. I think this could be in the 20s for both teams. I think it comes down to like a late field goal. But both of these teams like to run the ball, so that's going to chew up the time and really limit possessions for both teams, really. And with that being said, Atlanta, they do have a pretty strong passing defense, with that being said. So I think they have more success with James Cook running the ball. So I think that the Bills are going to, and the Bills have been doing that so far this season. They've been really emphasizing that rushing attack with James Cook, and I think they're going to go right back to that in this game. So like that pick there, although I don't like taking unders on Josh Allen, but we're going to go right there. So pick number 4, we got Bijan Robinson, over 110.5 rushing and receiving yards. My projection is at 129.9. So like I just said with the analysis, I think this game does play slower. And with that being said, Buffalo's rushing defense is terrible. I do not like their rushing defense. They give up like a lot of yards per carry, and Bijan, he feasts on big chunk plays in rushes. So, and I'm adding in the receiving yards because this is the kind of guy that can do it both ways. He can have a big game receiving and he can have a big game rushing. And in a game where I'm expecting the Falcons to be trailing, I think this game script just fits perfectly into this over. I think this is one of my favorite overs. And if you look at his last 5, he's hit this number in his last 5 games. I didn't go back deeper than that, but he's probably easily smashed the over in more of that. So I think this is great value here. I'm not sure why this line is at 110. I think it goes up to like 115, 120, if I'm going to be honest, before it locks. I just like this game script. I think everything is just favoring the over. This is one of my favorite plays on this slip, so love the over there. Pick number 5. We're going to the other Monday Night Football game. Taking Jacory Croskey-Merritt, over 68.5 rushing yards. I got him at 75.9. You got the Commanders taking on the Falcons in this one. And the Commanders are like 5.5 point favorites, I believe, at home. And if you look at this guy right here, if you don't know much about him, this is another young star in the making in the running back department in the NFL. They haven't really been like feeding him chunk volume throughout like the first few games of the season. I don't know if they're just trying to work him into the system, getting him used to the NFL, because in college he didn't really play that much. He missed like the whole 2025 season or 2024 season for college, so he's still getting his game feel back into him. I think they're working him through, but last game they really unleashed his volume. He had like tons of carry. I don't know the exact number, but I know he had way more than he usually gets, and he had like 111 rushing yards against a very good Chargers defense. And now you get a Bears defense here in this matchup that doesn't really defend the rush very well either. They're actually pretty bad. Another one that's really bad at giving up yards per carry. And this dude, Croskey-Merritt, man, he's going to become a superstar in the NFL, I believe. I think last game, I watched that game. I am a Commanders fan, but yeah, I think this is one of the young stars going to be a future MVP of the league, I feel like. And yeah, what I saw last week, it was really something. So, like that pick there. Jumping to pick number 6, we're taking Caleb Williams, over 20 completions. My projection is at 20.1, so this one is right on the line here, my projection. He's really been consistent, really hitting this line. He's been right around this line, like just barely missing it or going over it in his last 5 games. And this is a pretty, I would say, a pretty favorable matchup. I mean, it's not really the best matchup, and it's not really the worst matchup. It's a pretty average matchup for him. So I'm expecting him to get around 20 carries. He might easily land on 20, which will give us, the void, which, isn't the worst thing here. A pretty insurance policy. Usually when I go to these insurance policy picks, they usually tie the line at least or go over. So looking for that to happen here in this one. And the Commanders' defense, while I don't think the completions isn't the best spot. I mean, it's not terrible, but I think it's a pretty average spot. But they do give up a lot of yards, so you could look at his passing yards line if you want to take that route, because I think he can easily get over the passing yards line. But I'm just factoring game script here. I feel like the Bears are going to be trailing throughout most of this game. It should be a pretty competitive game. I feel like it should be pretty competitive, like one possession game throughout the whole way. But I do think they will be trailing the whole way, and yeah, I feel like it's a great pick there to end out the slip. So that's gonna do it for this slip, guys. If you enjoyed it, once again, hit the like and subscribe button. Really helps me out a ton. Yeah, tomorrow, Tuesday, I think we got some college football, so we can cover that tomorrow. But that's gonna do it for this slip, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.